Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying it is really possible to stay in required, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how hard is like within the family life, within this society we live, still you stay in your required level, right?
Yeah. So that's another good question, right? So anything that we discuss from Shastras, we need to know how is it practical today, in today's time, right? So the same Shastras who give these injunctions, like simple living, high thinking, huh? um, or in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives many instructions, right? So for all the injunctions or instructions given in Shastras, we have to apply time, place, and circumstances. Now, is it practical for all of us to live without electricity? No. If we ask everybody in Seattle, all the 10 million people in Seattle, to go to Canada border and then start living there, no, they cannot live. So we cannot renounce things artificially, but we can do whatever is practical here. Okay, fine, we can continue living under the electricity, but there are many other things that we can do to cut down our desires, to cut down unwanted shopping, to cut down unwanted accumulation of things, uh, to cut down unwanted accumulation of even wealth, uh, uh, all these things. Yeah. So not only within ISKCON, there are other organizations, other philosophies where we can see the examples of simple living, high thinking. Does anyone know about this community called Amish? Yeah, yeah. They also live similar life. No electricity. They only wear white clothes. Huh? They live on very less amount of food. Simple living, high thinking. Yeah.
One question.
Yeah. No, before that, you had a question, right?
No, I was just adding to that part, like
Yeah.
sleeping early, kind of
Mhm.
saying that your body clock is also kind of like meant to function that way,
Yeah.
kind of like to have like an optimal performance of like relaxation as well as like to wake up early and get in a better state, kind of thing. You have to like go back to bed early. Also, like the things like your Jetaragni also like kind of dies off after sunset. So
Yeah.
anything that you eat after it tends to stay in your system for longer.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Very, very good point. So we should just follow the sun for our daily eating. In the morning, how much amount of food that we should eat? Look at the sun. In the morning, the intensity of the sun is very light. It's very less. That means the Jataragni inside our body is at low. So eat very little. For breakfast, eat very little. And as the sun intensity increases towards afternoon, around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, then the Jataragni inside us also increases. So eat lunch like a king. And then in the evening, the sun fades off. So Jataragni inside us also fades off. So eat very little in the evening. Fruits, nuts, something like that. There are many people who eat only twice a day, and there are good number of people who eat only once a day in the afternoon. So what works best for your body, you can practice that. If not,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So uh, if not once a day, I mean, practicing once a day is very difficult, right? We are used to eating 3 times a day. Uh, but if you can't avoid that, at least cultivate a habit of 2 times a day. So as they say, right, a person who eats 3 times a day is rogi, and a person who eats 2 times a day is yogi. Uh, no, first one is bogi. The person who eats 3 times a day is bogi.
No, it's
2 times is
3
yogi.
times is rogi, 2 times is pogi, then 1 time is yogi.
3 times rogi. Yeah. 3 times rogi. 2 times bogi. 1 time yogi. Yeah. So slowly we can start cutting down to 2 times a day, or maybe if you cannot do that 3 times a day, but reduce the quantity. Okay, because our body just needs a little bit of food. Okay.
Only this much of food. This is our size of the stomach.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ayurveda says when to stop eating food. When to stop eating food? Does anyone know?
When you get your first
Burp.
burp.
Yeah, good. So the moment you get first burp, you should stop eating. But what do? We don't even notice when we get burp. Or the kind of posture that we sit in, some people stand and eat, some people, sit at the dining table and eat. Different. Some people eat in the sofa, some people eat on the bed. Different kind of postures. So we may not even get burp also. Even if we get burp, we may not even notice. So many things going on, TV playing in front of us, phone, Instagram, everything is going on, or the boss is calling. Amidst all this, hangama, we don't even notice when we get burp. So, but all the mothers of newborn babies, they know, right? As soon as the baby takes a burp, then they stop feeding, and then they just take the baby on the shoulder, and then put the baby to sleep. But we don't follow that. As we grow up, we don't follow that. Yeah. So you wanted to add something, right?
No, another thing was like about that Rogi Bogi Yogi thing.
Yeah.
Like I think I've seen this documentary about one sadhu who lives in Kashi, I believe. He's documented to be living for like 125 years or something. And his daily routine was he only eats once at 11 o'clock ish or something.
Yeah.
That's his whole meal for the day, and he only eats like some morsel of rice and like some kind of vegetable, and that's how he eats. So,
Yeah.
so it's like I was also telling that okay, the more you eat, the less you live.
Yeah. Because if we eat more, all the blood and everything in the body is spent in digesting that food only. So you'll have less energy to do things. If we eat less amount of energy is consumed in digesting that food. So you'll have other energy to work on other things. So, okay, yes.
I have actually two questions. So one, I got related to this question.
Yeah.
The Shastra says something about like how to calculate like how much is enough for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another good question, right? So, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So when we talk about this simple living and high thinking, how do I define what is minimum for me? How do I define this simple living? So the simple living or what is bare minimum for one person or for one family, it varies from one person to another person, one family to another family. It varies. Everything in life should be guided. Now, when we are already, going through the problem. We're already contributing to the problem. So we cannot understand how much is needed for me, what is my minimum. We cannot define that. Okay? As Einstein said, a problem that is created with the same consciousness cannot solve the problem. Okay? So a person who is outside the problem only can solve that problem. If you are already part of the problem and contributing to the problem, we cannot solve it. So everything in life should be guided. So you can have a mentor. The mentor can be an elderly person in the family, or it can be a spiritual master who is available. It can be a well-wisher who has some wisdom in life. Or we have 3 elderly people who have seen life and who have wisdom. So we can seek guidance from elderly people like this. So, and Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Yuktahara viharasya Yukta swapnavabodhasya yukta chestasya karmasu yogo bhavati dukkha. Krishna says, yukta ahara means eat limited amount of food. Yukta vihara, do recreation, entertainment, enjoyment, but limited again. Krishna is not telling, okay, so you don't watch movies or don't, don't do entertainment. No. Even in Shastras, even in the olden days, it was there, entertainment was there. But you have to selectively choose what kind of entertainment you are involved in, okay, you are engaged in. So yukta ahara, yukta vihara. Limited amount of food, limited amount of recreation. Yukta swapna, limited amount of sleep. So when we do all these things, we'll be a healthy person. Now if we have access to an elderly person or a mentor or a guru, we can take guidance. Otherwise, you sit down, introspect, have a nice discussion with the family, saying that, hey, I heard about this simple living and high thinking, and I'm thinking of giving it a try. So have a discussion with the family, because everyone in the family should be involved, right? Even for you to change alone, or even for the entire family members to change, there has to be nice discussion in the family. So discuss with the family members and come up with what is okay to call as minimum for you or for the family. I know a family, an American family. They were living in US, and then one fine day they decided to go to India and live there. With what? With 100 items. There are four members in the family, mother, father, and 2 kids. If we count all the things that they have taken to India, the number of socks they have taken, the number of clothes they have taken, number of bags they have taken, number of utensils they have taken, it's just 100 items for 4 people. Now again, it's not for us, right? 100 items is not sufficient for us. So maybe for me, 10,000 items are needed. Maybe for Sharan, 1 million items are needed. So it varies from person to person. The goal is you sit down, introspect, and then you cut down. Whatever you are doing, you just cut down. It can start with shopping, actually. Okay? This process of cutting down can start with shopping. Right? What do you say? I forgot your name. Sahana. Okay. Yeah. So does he have a lot of Sahana? Yes. Yeah. So what do you say? Shopping, right?
Yeah, shopping is the first thing.
Yeah.
We accumulate all this.
We accumulate. Yeah. Most of the times we buy things impulse buying, right? As they call it, impulse buying. Even though you don't need it, you see something and it feels good to you, it looks good to you, you just buy it. So impulse buying, window shopping, impulse buying. What is the problem with window shopping? Even though you're not buying, what is the problem with that? What is the problem with window shopping? Everybody knows what is window shopping? Because we all have done it. That's why we know it.
Same thing, right? Accumulating for no reason.
Huh?
Same thing, like accumulating.
Accumulate. But you're actually not buying. Window shopping is just walking around the mall and looking at the stuff. You're actually not buying.
Even if you are not buying,
Oh.
it will impact your brain some way
Yeah.
or motivate to buy
Yes.
after some time.
Very good. You will start contemplating. When you are doing window shopping, what you are doing? Your mind is contemplating on these objects. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodo Bijayate. And then the next sloka, Krodad Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha Smriti Bramshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So Krishna explains 8-step process of fall down. 8-step process of fall down. How a person can fall down from higher consciousness to lower consciousness. From a higher level to lower level. How a person can fall down. Krishna gives 8 different things. And the first thing or first step in this process of falling down is contemplation. Dhyayato. Dhyayato, contemplation on what? Vishaya, sense objects. All the clothes or all the gadgets in the different stores in the shopping mall, they're all Vishaya, sense objects. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate. Sangha means attachment. As the mind contemplates, as Praveen said, you start, your brain starts meditating or contemplating on those. As you contemplate, you develop attachment, Sangha. Sangasteshu Pajayate. Sangha Sanjayate Kama. Kama means lust. Lust is nothing but a strong desire to achieve something. Strong desire to achieve something. So I want to buy that gadget at any cost. Okay, even though I cannot afford it, I have seen that my mind has been contemplating, and I cannot live without that. So that is lust, strong desire to achieve something. Sangha sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate. If you cannot fulfill your desires, it leads to anger, krodha. And if you fulfill your desires, it leads to lust. Desire, you can draw you can draw some flow chart. Desire, if you fulfill, lust, or you will become greedy, right? You fulfill one desire, you want to fulfill two desires. You fulfill two desires, you want to fulfill 10 desires. You become greedy. If you don't fulfill your desires, you will develop anger. So lust, anger, greed, these are the three gates to hell. So even though we are doing window shopping, but we are contemplating, and one fine day we'll definitely buy. We'll definitely buy. Your mind will definitely make you buy. So that's why avoid window shopping, avoid going to the malls if you are not in need of buying something. We go to Costco with an intention to buy one pack of butter or whatever, right? And then we come back with a truckload of, with a cartload of things. So this is one step where everybody can practice this simple living practically. So especially during COVID time, we all have seen how people were running, in a mad rush, how everybody was running to accumulate things as if the world is going to end. And by the way, I saw a very interesting thing just last week only. I was trying to buy something on Amazon. What was I trying to buy? I was trying to buy some fruit jam, like Kisan fruit jam that you get in India, right? So I live in Samamish, and I went to the local Apna Bazaar. They don't have that mixed fruit Kisan jam. And then something struck me, oh, maybe Amazon will have it. Then I looked up on Amazon. I know if I go to Mayuri in Bellevue, I'll get it. But I looked up on Amazon, I got it. Then it shows some recommendations, right? It was very mind-boggling. I'll send the link in the group here. There is a package. There's a product. It's called emergency food supply. Okay, emergency food supply. And the shelf life of that package is 25 years. 25 years. There are different kinds of food items in that. 25 years. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, we should not eat food that is cooked more than 3 hours. You have to cook and you have to consume that within 3 hours. Now here somebody is selling a product, the shelf life of the product is 25 years. It's food item. Very mind-boggling. Yeah. So what were we discussing? The minimum, how to define the minimum. Yeah. So best thing is ask a guide. If a guide is not available, have a nice discussion with the family, and then see where you can cut down. We can definitely cut down. If we have a nice introspection and discussion, We can cut down in every aspect of our life. We can cut down in food, clothing, gadgets, entertainment, vacations, jewelry, whatnot, everything. Yeah.
Just to add to that question,
Yeah.
sometimes the uncertainties we don't know, like for example, like COVID,
Mm.
or sometimes somebody gets a cancer or something. So how do we presume how much to sanjay? That is always a question mark. We think, okay, we are living a low profile,
Yeah.
we are living a low thinking, we are good that way.
Yeah.
But how do we get prepared for the uncertainty?
It's only our anxiety. It's only our unnecessary anxiety thinking that something will happen tomorrow and I'll not get food. But Krishna guaranteed, as soon as a jiva takes birth in the life, in the material world, a quota is assigned and you will get that. Somehow or the other, you will get that. As they say, right? Dane dane pe khane khane wale ka naam likha hota hai. On every food grain, the name of the person who is going to eat is written. And it is true actually. We can see that many times, many incidents. Somebody cooks food for somebody and that person does not eat and someone else ends up eating that. So we don't have to worry too much about what's going to happen, earthquake. I know that many people in Western countries, they keep some food supplies in the basement or somewhere for an earthquake and those things. So, yeah, we don't have to worry too much about what's going to happen in future. No matter what, a quota will be assigned for us. Just like the birds, right? We discussed this example in the past. Birds, even if you throw a bag full of rice grains in front of the birds, they don't eat. They only eat whatever grains they need, 10 grains, 20 grains. They only take whatever grains they need and then they leave. Or sometimes they call their friends also. So you see, you will normally you don't see any birds in your backyard, in the patio, you don't see any birds. But you just leave some food in the backyard and within 5-10 minutes you'll see 10-20 birds coming there. They call their friends. They share. Sharing is caring. Yeah. So yeah.
So, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
you said, as per Shastras, trying to acquire anything more than an excess
Yeah.
is actually a sin.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are some rituals, some slogas, shastras,
Mhm.
which are believed to bring prosperity.
Yeah.
So does it mean we are trying to please God to to increase our quota or what? For example, you take the Kanagala Stotra. That is the Adi Shankaracharya said whoever recites this one
Yeah.
will be flooded with a lot of prosperity and everything.
Yeah.
So I understand wisdom is the real prosperity we are talking about.
Yeah.
But we are talking about the material possession as well, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly? Do you think these two things are contradicting?
If we take things separately, they seem to be contradictory. But when you look at the holistic picture from Shastra, right? So generally, our tendency is we take only that part of the Shastra that I like. Okay? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke 700 slokas, 574 slokas. Out of the 700 in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke 574 slokas. And they're all powerful instructions. They're all like bullet instructions, silver bullet instructions. Okay? Even if we follow at least 10 instructions, our life will be successful. But what we do is we take only that portion of the instruction that I like, and other portion or other instructions we discard. So the same Shastra, the same Vedas that give us these methods or rituals to increase our prosperity, the same Vedas also recommend from the earnings that we get, how much should we consume, how much should we set aside for the family members, how much should we contribute to the society. Society means it includes charity, it includes giving some donation to the brahmanas who are preaching message of God. all these things. So as long as a person is doing that, even if they are following these rituals like Kanakadara Stotra to increase their prosperity, it is fine because they are contributing to the society. Yeah. 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 And the purpose of Kanakadara Stotra or any ritual in the Vedas to invite prosperity is for those people who are struggling, who are poverty stricken, who are struggling with basic needs. But a person who is well off already, there's no need to perform these rituals. Rather, you do higher thinking, you do bhakti. That will give you the true happiness. But if a person is following these rituals and increasing their prosperity, spend it well. Spend it for the higher cause. Give it to charity, give it to brahmanas, give it to temples, like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Online, maybe somebody online? Srinivas or Preeti, do you have any question?
No, not really. We are enjoying the discussion, Srinivas. So,
Okay, good.
yep.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting that you said something about the birds
Mhm.
and the seeds, because this is like something exactly what my great grandfather told me.
Yeah.
And he added one more thing. It's like birds eat less, but not just because they eat less. It is because they also need to fly after they eat.
Mm.
So if they eat more than what
they need?
for, they won't be able to fly around.
Fly.
And if they can't fly around, they are like stuck, and they are like they are prey birds, right? So sometimes like predators can attack them and things like that.
Yeah, their life cycle is disturbed.
So in a sense, like their whole aspect of living is flying.
Yeah.
So it's like to only enable that part, you just have to eat. So that's what he also added, saying that okay, even if you eat something, make sure that in the next 1 hour you are able to run and go somewhere.
Yeah.
And come back, and not like you have to sleep.
Yeah.
Because you ate this. So he just used to say this like that, to say
Yeah.
how much you have to eat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, anything else?
I got one question from our last class.
Yes.
So, Gita is all about Krishna is instructing Arjuna,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, yes, last class we talked about all the Stang yogas and Bhakti yogas and all. How was it related to the conversation they were having at the battlefield?
Mm.
And how that was helping
Yeah.
Arjuna
Yeah.
to understand the whole.
Yeah. Very good question. So what did Krishna ask? What did Arjuna ask in second chapter? We just discussed in the very beginning. Maybe you are not there. You joined a little later, right? So Arjuna was bewildered looking at all the Kauravas and his teacher Dronacharya, his grandfather Bhishma. They are people who are worthy of worship. So he was bewildered, how can I fight with my own people? How can I kill my own people? So he was bewildered and then put his bow Gandiva aside, and then he sat on the chariot and asked Krishna, what should I do now? Okay. So then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Krishna started speaking Karma Yoga. First he started speaking about Atma Jnana, knowledge of the soul. Then Karma Yoga, chapter 3, 4 and 5. And Ashtanga Yoga, chapter 6. Chapter 7 to 12, Bhakti Yoga. Chapter 13 to 18, Jnana Yoga. Now, if you go and ask somebody, okay, for example, you go and ask Sharan, hey Sharan, should I buy Tesla Model X or Model Y? Now Sharan tells you, no, first you sit down, I'll tell you, you are not this body, you are the soul. Okay? No, it doesn't make sense, right? Now Arjuna asks, what should I do? Should I fight or not? Now Krishna started explaining Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all those things, right? But Krishna was building up. Krishna was building up and he was preparing Arjuna to understand the deeper meaning of the deeper meaning of performing one's duty as a service to the Lord. If Krishna simply answers, "Oh Arjuna, okay, you fight. In my opinion, you should fight." Now Arjuna will not be inspired to fight, right? So just like when a child is not listening, what you should do? You should sit down with the child. You should reason. You should explain. You should show your emotions. You should show your compassion. We should not yell out. We should not yell and shout at the children. Now, when you sit down with the child and explain nicely, they'll understand. So that's what Krishna was doing. Instead of just giving a straightforward answer, which Arjuna would not, listen to it otherwise. So Krishna started building up, started with fundamental or preliminary knowledge of spirituality, and then going up to the higher level of spirituality, higher level knowledge of spirituality. And first he taught to Arjuna performing duty as a matter of duty, performing the war as a matter of Kshatriya's duty. And then later on he taught to Arjuna that how you can convert the same action of fighting as a service to the Lord. See, any action you can do at three different levels. There can be three different motivators to do any action. One is you can do things out of fear, you can do things out of duty, or you can do things out of love. Can anybody give an example of an action that you do out of fear? In our day-to-day life, take any example. Things that we do out of fear.
Kill a mosquito.
Huh?
Kill a mosquito.
Kill a mosquito. It's not a duty, it's a defending mechanism, right? So I'm talking.
Bite you,
Huh?
right? You're afraid it will bite you.
Yeah. Give a better example. Give a better example. Some good example.
If somebody is in deathbed, you will do some homa or anything.
Sorry?
If somebody is in deathbed, then try to do some homa or anything that is out of fear. That is, they may die.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So if somebody is going through some health problems, that's when they tend to do all these pujas and going to the temple and ringing the bells and singing some songs, calling the Lord. Huh?
Medicine,
Yeah, medicine, vaccine. Yeah. So another example can be all the people in the corporate companies. They work out of fear, right? There's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of insecurity. Insecurity of job loss, insecurity of whether will I get promotion or not. So all these insecurities. So we work out of fear. If I don't maintain my job, how can I maintain my family? It's a fear, constant fear, every day, every single day, 365 days, 24/7. That's a good example of fear, working out of fear. Now, second level or second motivation. Does everyone agree with this? Okay. Maunam is the ardhangikaram. So, okay, second level or second motivation. Second motivation is duty. You do things as a matter of duty. Now, what can be a good example for that? Good example. Not mosquito.
Forces,
Hmm?
army people.
Very good. Army. Yeah. So army people, they do things as per their duty. And out of their duty, even if they kill somebody, no punishment. Okay. Now third level or the third motivator, which is the most important thing, is doing things out of love. Now what is an example for this? Okay, let's discuss some practical examples in our day-to-day life. Then we'll go to Bhakti. Huh? Kids and parents, yes. She is dealing with the child now. Huh? no matter how much the child is testing the mother is ready to serve the child, father also. Okay, they are ready, the parents are ready to serve the child, no matter how testing the children are, terrible to all those things, no matter how difficult it is, but they are ready to serve the child, sacrificing their own.
The crash was out of love, but on the wrong side.
Yeah. So, so sacrificing their own comforts, their own enjoyment, their own desires, parents are ready to serve the children. That is love. You do things out of love. Now, one level even higher than this love is love for God. When you do things when you do things as a service to the Lord out of love for God, that is the highest thing. So now, in order to establish this point, Krishna started building up from fear to duty. What is fear? How do we apply these three things to Arjuna now? Fear, right? If Arjuna does not fight, what happens? Kauravas will kill him, right? So out of fear, he has to fight. Defense mechanism. If we don't kill the mosquito will bite us. So that is out of fear. Next, duty. As a Kshatriya, it is Arjuna's duty to fight. If Arjuna does not fight as a Kshatriya, if he runs away, people will defame. Yeah, people will defame him. They'll call him coward. Not only that, if a Kshatriya does not fight, if a Kshatriya runs away from the battlefield, they'll incur sinful reactions. Apakarma. So Arjuna's reasoning was, he's going to incur sinful reactions if he kills Kauravas. But the reality is, he will incur sinful reactions if he does not perform his duty as a Kshatriya. So that is second level, duty. Now, third level is, Krishna spoke 6 chapters of Bhakti Yoga, and he explained the process of Bhakti, how to offer things to Krishna as a service, as an offering, as an offering with love to God. And then finally he said, I have already killed all these people, Arjuna. And he shows in that Vishwarupa, the Bhayankara Kalarupa form, Krishna already shows how all the Kauravas are entering into his mouth, just like fireflies entering into fire and getting dyed. Krishna shows that form and says that, I have already killed all these Kauravas. Now you just pretend as if you are acting, as if you are fighting. Get up and take the bow Gandiva and just be an instrument, fight and get the credit. Krishna is giving the credit to Arjuna only. He has done everything, but he is giving the credit to Arjuna only. So just to bring this transformation in Arjuna, Krishna spoke about all these things. Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Because the purpose of Bhakti Yoga, the purpose of all these yogas is to connect with God. Now the best way to connect with God is when you do things out of love for God. When you do things as a service to the Lord. Okay? Now after hearing all this, Krishna, after explaining all this, even in the end, Krishna said, Yadechasi tadakuru. Arjuna, now you are free to do whatever you want. I have given you all this knowledge. Now you are free to do whatever you want. And then Arjuna replied to Krishna saying that, Karishye vachanam tava. Now I am ready to do whatever you instruct me to do. And another reason why Krishna explained Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga to Arjuna is, in the beginning, when Arjuna was bewildered, Arjuna thought, just like how all the sannyasis, how they renounce things in the from the worldly life, and how they go to a secluded place and then restrain from action itself. That's what Arjuna wanted to do. Then Krishna explained the mechanics of that Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, saying that you can do this, but it takes long time. If you want to progress on this path, it's a staircase approach. It takes long time for you to progress. But the elevator approach is practicing bhakti yoga, doing things as a service to the Lord. Okay? Okay.
Ravi, this aspect of killing has generally, traditionally made me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at all these terrorists, the justifications that they give are actually very similar.
Uh-huh.
Because very bad things have happened to them, their family members, their countrymen.
Yeah.
The US will go and bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Kashmir, I'm sure Indian forces may have done some atrocities. There are so many people out, something must have happened.
Yeah.
So this type of justification is possible for a lot of people. And they use that justification to murder other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's the distinction?
So this type of justification means the justification given by...
Justification that it is your duty, you're doing it in the name of God.
Yeah.
And that you are, basically, it doesn't matter whether you kill somebody because they're eventually going to die anyway. God is going to kill them, the soul, whatever.
Yeah.
All of those justifications, the fact that, and partly it is your duty to fight and kill, and they deserve it because they did bad karma, right? So all of those justifications do apply to a lot of the cases for what these terrorists are doing.
Yeah.
And yet, nobody in their right mind would support what the terrorists are doing.
Yeah.
So I have not been able to understand what the distinction is.
Yeah.
Between the atrocities that were committed against the Pandavas and the atrocities that may have been committed against the people who eventually become terrorists.
Yeah. So here the intention is what matters. Even though these two things, what Krishna is recommending, Krishna is licensing Arjuna to kill. This may appear similar to what the terrorists are doing, and who are claiming that they'll go to Jannat if they kill, innocent people. But the intention is what matters. So what is the intention, or why Krishna gave license to Arjuna to kill people? It is to establish dharma paripalana, to establish religion. Now, what is the intention of those people, the terrorists who are killing innocent people? There is no intention. There is no proper justification. The only thing that they say is, we'll go to Jannat. It's all nonsense.
They are trying to establish their religion, right? They might be trying to establish...
No, what is the religion? So here the religion is to establish dharma paripalana. Kauravas, they did so many atrocities against Pandavas. Now, as per the Shastras, the elder person in the family is supposed to get the kingdom. Now Duryodhana did not give that. Now Pandavas agreed to go to exile and then 1 year incognito, all those things. And after coming back, they only asked for 5 villages. And Duryodhana said, forget about 5 villages. I'll not even give you that small piece of land that you can hold a pin. Okay? So then the war was inevitable. Krishna counseled Duryodhana, and Pandavas pleaded Duryodhana to give only 5 villages, because they said, we are 5 people, we are Kshatriyas, we cannot sit at home. There's no work from home concept for us. We have to, as a Kshatriyas, we have to rule the kingdom. We have to do some ruling.
They could have conquered any other kingdom, right? Like, why does it have to be that?
No, if you are conquering another kingdom where you are not the king, then it's encroachment, right? It's against the dharma. It's against dharma. It's against dharma. That's what Duryodhana did, right? If Pandavas also do the same mistake, then there will not be any difference between Duryodhana and Pandavas. Duryodhana already encroached what it does not belong to him. Now, if Pandavas also let go of their own kingdom and fight on somebody else and get that kingdom, there's no difference between Pandavas and Duryodhana. So to establish, now what happens if Pandavas let go? Pandavas let go of this fight and let go of Duryodhana. In fact, that's what Dhritarashtra said. So when Krishna went, or Vidura went to counsel Dhritarashtra, saying that why don't you tell to your son Duryodhana to change, and why don't you stop this fighting? Why don't you stop this war? Then you know what Dhritarashtra said? Dhritarashtra said, my son will never change. Whereas Pandavas, they have the intelligence to discriminate between good and bad. They can sacrifice. They have led the life of 14 years, a life of austerity in the forest. So they can live simple life. They can sacrifice all these things, and they know how to live a simple life. Why don't you ask Pandavas to compromise and avoid the war? So that's what he said. Dhritarashtra said. Now, if Pandavas avoid fighting, then what will happen? If Pandavas avoid fighting, Kauravas will establish the adharma paripalana, and they will go on rampage. They'll do more adharmic activities. He was already adharmic, caused so much distress to Pandavas. Now, if Pandavas let go of him, he will go on a rampage and do more adharmic activities, which can disturb the entire Bharata Desham. So that is the point of establishing religion there. Religion means not Hindu religion, Islam religion, like that. Religion means what is the right thing to do. Dharma. What is the right thing for the people? That is religion. That is dharma. The English word is religion, but oftentimes it can be interpreted in different ways. But Sanskrit has correct application. Dharma. Dharma means what is the right thing for the people to do.
Also, terrorists are not considered as fighting, like it's not a war.
Yeah.
It's a backstabbing or like unknowingly killing unarmed people.
Yeah.
I think you can't compare terrorist activities with Kurukshetra or whatever Krishna said.
Yeah. And it is out of their mental concoction, they come up with all these philosophies, saying that if we kill innocent people, we'll go to Jannat.
Yeah, no, but a lot of people, they also kill soldiers, right? Like in Kashmir, they were killing soldiers, not necessarily innocent people.
Yeah.
It's still wrong.
Yeah, it is definitely wrong.
And I would say that worse things may have happened to those people in Kashmir than what happened to Pandavas. Because, like, you kill somebody's family member, you handicap someone.
Yeah.
That's worse than taking away all your land.
Yeah, definitely. It is, it is definitely condemned. Killing those soldiers, it's definitely condemned. But, and that is when, that is when we discussed this point also before. That is when God creates an opportunity to punish these people. So why does God descend into the material world? Krishna tells in 4th chapter, and it is a very famous shloka from B.R. Chopra Mahabharata serial. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskrutam dharma samstapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I appear every millennium after millennium for two purposes. What are those two purposes? One is to re-establish the religion, to re-establish dharma, and then to give pleasure to the devotees, to deliver the devotees, to give pleasure to his devotees. That's why Krishna appeared as Bala Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga 5000 years ago, and he performed all those nice leelas. When the devotees of Krishna hear those, now Mataji was asking in the beginning about Damodara pastime, Damodara Leela. We're going to talk about that in a bit. So when we hear those leelas, we get so we get pleased so much, and we get inspired to go back to Krishna. We get inspired to serve Krishna. All these leelas Krishna performed 5,000 years ago, even today, when we discuss those leelas, it appears as if Krishna performed like yesterday only. Krishna stealing butter, all those things, Krishna behaving naughty, like a naughty boy with gopis and gopa boys, all those things. Even we discuss now after 5,000 years, it still looks very fresh. So that is one purpose, and other purpose is to kill the miscreants and re-establish dharma. Now, sometimes Krishna comes by himself personally. Sometimes he sends his representatives to punish these miscreants. So various methods. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
I want to add something. Like, it was not just a fight of a land between Kauravas and Pandavas. Pandavas even left and they went into exile and stayed in some place. They created their own palace, everything, but they tried to kill them. They just, this Rashtra or his kingdom never wanted them to live at all. That was the condition. It was not just a land part.
Yeah.
Even they didn't want them to see them because as long as they're alive, they could not get that much virtuous because the people who still respect Pandavas, that was the mentality. So it was not just a land part, it was also about that they never wanted them to live at all.
And we have seen the same exact thing in Bahubali movie. Right? So same exact thing. So Shastras say there are people who are classified as aggressors. Atatai. The Sanskrit word is atatai, or aggressors. Aggressors means people who commit abominable activities. And there are 5 kinds of aggressors. One is a person who sets somebody else's house on fire, a person who kidnaps someone else's wife. Third one is a person who gives poison to kill somebody. And fourth one, a person who steals land from somebody. 5 aggressors. Now Kauravas did, Duryodhana did all 5. All 5. Yeah. So still, now look at Arjuna's compassion. Arjuna says in the beginning, first chapter, he says, even though, now this is quoted in the concept of aggressors is quoted in Dharma Shastra. Okay, that is one Upaveda. Okay, there are 4 Vedas and there are Upavedas. Okay, this is one of the Dharma Shastra, Ardha Shastra, Manusmriti. These are all some Upavedas. So in Dharma Shastra, it is quoted that if somebody is an aggressor, you can kill them. If somebody is trying to steal somebody's property, you can kill them. Now that's why in Washington state and many other states, it is legal to kill somebody if they are entering into your home and trying to steal. Let's say you see a robber or thief trying to enter your home, you can take your gun and shoot, no punishment. But the only condition is that person has to be inside the fence. Okay? If the person is outside the fence and keeping an eye on you, he cannot do anything. So you have to wait until that person jumps inside the fence and then you can take your gun. Okay? So now look at Arjuna's compassion. Arjuna tells Shastras, O Krishna, Shastras describe that if a person belongs to any kind of these aggressor categories, we can kill them. But if the aggressor is our family member, we cannot kill them. Arjuna says this. So he is so compassionate towards his cousins and teacher and grandfather. They are my family members. Even though they are aggressors, they are my family members. And Shastras condemn to kill them. Yeah, blood relations. Yeah.
One question.
Yeah.
During Mahabharata time, Duryodhana knew that Bhagavan Krishna is a god?
He knows when he wants to know it, and he's ignorant when he wants to become ignorant. Okay, it's a little puzzling, right? Just like when a person is committing sinful activities, the first and foremost thing that is required is he should be ignorant of God. Okay. Now, when Duryodhana, when Krishna went to counsel Duryodhana, after hearing everything from Krishna, Duryodhana tried to arrest Krishna. And then Krishna showed his Vishwarupa, universal form. Even after seeing that Vishwarupa, Duryodhana did not learn the lesson because he wants to commit a sinful action. Yeah, he was ignorant. Even though he was seeing God right in front of him,
So that
he was
time,
ignorant.
He knew that like he was very ignorant and he ignored God completely. That time when God was actually there.
Yeah.
And in today time, God cannot come. We cannot speak directly with Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
Gita is the medium.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult for human person.
Yeah. Very good.
Duryodhana was there directly, Krishna was there, and he
Still he could not believe it.
understand
Yeah.
how we common human men,
Yeah.
how it's really very difficult.
Yeah. Very good question. Very good question. Very valid and very good question. So
how
that
to, at least how to do like 0.0001%.
yeah. So in the group when I sent that message, right, we'll have a Q&A session. I should have put a condition. Ask easy questions. Ask easy questions. Okay. So that is where faith comes into play. Okay. Now, for example, Prashant and what's your name? I forgot. Lalita. Yeah, Prashant and Lalita. They are seeing their children, and then the child is seeing them. Child is seeing the parents. It's very easy to establish a relation there. Okay, it's very easy to serve, very easy to show love, all those things because they are seeing each other. Now, we don't see God, but still we have to believe that God exists. Remember the topic? Does God exist? Our second topic. And then fourth topic, who is God? All of these things we are discussing, the Bhagavad Gita, 700 shlokas, we are discussing without seeing God. And we have to believe in God, we have to serve God, we have to develop love for God, all those things. There is so much we have to do without seeing Him. That is where faith comes into play. When you see somebody and believe in them, it's not of a great thing. But when you believe in something or somebody, when you don't see them, then that is faith. So to make our faith stronger, Krishna does not come in front of us until we become perfect in our sadhana. But once we become perfect in our sadhana, once we make our faith strong, yes, then we can have darshan of Krishna. Until then, Krishna gives glimpses. Krishna gives glimpses of his form. Krishna gives glimpses of his abode. Krishna gives glimpses of his representatives. Krishna gives so many. Yeah. If you see somebody and develop a relationship with, it's not a great thing.
But Prabhuji, when I meet with a lot of people,
Now one more point. Okay, then you can continue. Okay, so let's say Krishna decides to come in front of us. Okay, so in that Pitambara Vastra and Mayur Pank, Murali, Krishna, let's say Krishna decides to come in front of us. Ashish, I'm very pleased. Because you are asking this question, I will come in front of you. Okay, Krishna comes in front of you. How many of us will believe? How many of us will believe that he is actually God? Because we are all, in one sense, we are all like Duryodhana. Okay? We are all like, very interestingly, during the temple opening, we called for all the artists to perform various things, music, dance, and all those things. So we got a long list, 100, 200 people, artists. Interestingly, somebody's name was Duryodhana. Yeah. Somebody's name was Duryodhana. So, in one sense, we are all like Duryodhana. Even if God comes in front of us, we will not believe. So, we don't see God with our charma chakshu. Charma chakshu is with this naked eye, this material eye. We see God with jnana chakshu, through the eye of the knowledge. You don't see God through the eye of this material eye. You see God through the eye of knowledge. In chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna showed universal form, Arjuna said, I cannot see anything, Krishna. I cannot see anything. With my own eyes, I cannot see anything. Then Krishna said, Dadami divya chakshu. Dadami means I give you. Divya chakshu means transcendental eyes, so that you can see my vision. You can see my universal form. Then Krishna gives that Dadami, that divya chakshu, and then Arjuna was able to see universal form. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, then we sharpen our jnana chakshu, and with that we can see God. Now this might sound very abstract, isn't it? What is this? You read something and you sharpen your eye of knowledge and you see God. Even though it sounds abstract, but that's the reality. That's the reality. And there are many people who have done this and who have seen the truth, who have seen God through their jnana chakshu. Initially, you see God through your jnana chakshu, and then God will come in front of you and give his darshan. There are yes. Okay.
Who see God, they won't tell another person.
Yeah.
They won't describe about God.
Yes.
If someone describes God,
they have not seen. God. They have not seen God. Yes, very good. Yeah, very well said actually. Yeah, very well said. Yeah. So, because in this age of Kali Yuga, see, in the previous yugas, God gave darshan to many people in many occasions. Okay? In fact, God was available, right, in front of everybody. Krishna, he was available in front of everybody. Rama was available in front of everybody. Satya Yuga also, God was available in front of everybody. But in Kali Yuga, why God does not become so accessible is we take him so cheap. If he is available or accessible so easily, we take him very cheap. And as Mataji said, the person who has described God, he has not seen God, because there are so many cheaters. That's why you see all these so-called self-proclaimed God men, right? Saying that I have seen God and I'll show you God. I'm here to prove that you are God. I'm here to prove that I am not God, but I'm here to prove that you are God. So all this nonsense is happening there. First of all, he is not God and you are not God.
Just to add, that is why we treat everyone as God, because we don't know kab kis desh mein swayam Narayan aa jaye.
Yeah.
That is what we are being told, that respect everyone with Krishna.
You see God in everybody and everything. In chapter 10, there's a chapter in Bhagavad Gita dedicated to this concept of seeing God everywhere. Seeing God everywhere. Trying to recollect the shloka. So basically, the shloka says that those who see everything in me, and those who see everything. Okay, let me open that shloka. Okay, I'll tell you. No, not aham sarvasya prabhu. Yeah. Shloka goes something like Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. Okay. chapter 6, shloka number 30. Krishna says, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Okay, this is the part I was missing. For one who sees me everywhere. That means we have to develop this equal vision of seeing God in everyone, everywhere. Everywhere means seeing God in human beings, seeing God in animals, seeing God in a chandala. Chandala means a dog eater. We should be able to see God in dog. We should be able to see God in dog eater also. Dog eater, even though he is chandala, is committing abominable action, but we should develop an equal vision towards such an abominable person also. Dog, dog eater, human being, and trees, animals, everything. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Sees everything in me means everybody is taking shelter of Krishna, or everything in the world is moving under the guidance of Krishna. Maya adhyakshena prakriti. Krishna says, Maya adhyaksha means by my guidance, under my guidance, this whole world is operating. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Chara achara means both moving and non-moving. Everything is operating under my guidance. That's why see everything in me. See me everywhere and see everything in me. So, and Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, it's called Vibhuti Yoga, the opulences of the God, opulences of the Absolute. Krishna describes many powerful and mightiest things in that chapter, and he tells that the power in this particular object or the strength in this particular person comes from me. For example, Krishna says, among all the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Okay, now Himalayas is the biggest mountains, right? So Krishna takes the biggest and the best things in different categories, and he says, I am that. The strength or power in that comes from me. And he also tells the intelligence of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is known for intelligence. Krishna says, among all the intelligent people, I am Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the priest in Svargaloka. Okay, he's supposed to be very intelligent. He's like a pujari. He's a priest. He's the most intelligent person. Krishna says, among all the intelligent people, I am Brihaspati. Stavaranam Himalaya. All these things Krishna says. So the reason why Krishna explains all these, and in the end he says that all these things are coming from a fraction of my opulence. Like when you see Mount Rainier, it's so gigantic, right? So 2 weeks ago when my sister was visiting us, we took her to Mount Rainier. We have been there before also, but every time we go there, it's a nice experience. It's a gigantic, huge mountain. So you naturally tend to appreciate the mighty aspect or powerful aspect of the mountain. So when we are doing that, what exactly we are doing? We are appreciating the ability of God. It is the amsha of God in that Mount Rainier which is making it so great. So the purpose of Krishna telling about various greatest and mightiest things in the world is to see God everywhere. Now we cannot see God, as Ashish mentioned, right? We are not able to see God, but there are many things where we can see God. Beautiful flower. Who is making that rose beautiful flower? The nice fragrance. Krishna. Krishna says, Punyo Gandham Prudivyamcha. I am the fragrance in the earth. The fragrance in the flowers actually comes from the earth molecules. It doesn't come from the petals, or it doesn't come from the tree or stem or nowhere. The fragrance comes from the earth molecules. In the same area, for example, in this carpet, okay, you plant 10 different flower plants. They all produce different fragrance, same earth molecules, but they produce different fragrance. How? The same molecules, when they are combined in different permutations, combinations, they produce a different fragrance. And this is all coming, this ability is coming from Krishna. Punyo Gandha Prudivyamcha. Gandha means the fragrance. Prudvi means earth. I am the fragrance in the earth, Krishna tells. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Rasa means the taste. I am the taste. Rasoham apsu. Apsu means water. I am the taste in the water, Krishna tells. So whenever, see water, what are the qualities of water? Attributes or adjectives of water. Colorless. Colorless. Tasteless. No sugar, no hot, no salty, nothing, right? But on a very sunny day in India, okay, in April, May time frame, you spend whole day outside and then you come home. You take a glass of water and drink. It feels very tasty. It quenches your thirst. You feel so relieved. Now, where is this taste coming from? It's coming from Krishna. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. I am the taste in the water, Krishna saying. So now whenever we are drinking water, we can see that aspect of God which is making the water tasty. When we see Mount Rainier, we should see that aspect of God which is making Mount Rainier the greatest of the mountains in US. When we see Himalayas, we should see that aspect of God and appreciate what is making Himalayas as the most greatest mountain in the world. So this is how we see God. And as we see God everywhere in the world, everywhere and in everything, our faith will become strong. And then finally, God will give darshan. And God will give different kinds of darshan. One is the sakshatkar, that is God coming in front of us and giving darshan. Another darshan is just like how Lord Ramachandra resided in the heart of Hanuma. Now Hanuma was looking everywhere, right? He was looking everywhere and he could not find Rama. And then Hanuma said, you are giving darshan to all these people. No, it is actually Ramadas, right? Yeah, Ramadas' story. Ramadas was a great servant of Lord Ramachandra. So even after serving Ramachandra so sincerely, so faithfully, so lovingly, he never gave darshan to Ramadasu. Now Ramadasu starts complaining, saying that you gave darshan to Shabari, you gave darshan to who? Who else? Anasuya. You gave Shabari, you gave darshan to so many people. But I have dedicated my life serving you lovingly, and I have even gone to jail. I have suffered so much in your service. But why am I not getting your darshan? Then Lord Ram appears in his heart. So that is mana sakshatkar. He appears in his mind or in the heart. So there are different, basically two different types of darshan. Sakshatkar, the personal darshan of God, and then darshan within the mind or heart. Yeah. Okay, so it's 7:53. I think your kids might be waiting. Yeah, we can stop here. So next week when we meet, we'll start discussing Bhagavad Gita. I'm traveling to India on 28th. Okay, October 28th, in about 2 weeks. I'll be gone for about 5 weeks. So I'll make an arrangement to send someone else, one of the other teachers from the temple. They will teach. So classes will continue. This class and the Balagokulam kids class, everything will continue. Okay. So, okay, thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. We'll see you next week. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know, because we all have these questions, right? And when we discuss topic by topic wise, sometimes we just have to finish the topic. Just for the sake of finishing the topic, we have to finish. If we take too many questions, then we cannot finish the topic in time. That's why I decided, okay, we'll dedicate some session for this Q&A so that people can have questions and we can have nice interactive discussion. So even I also enjoyed it nicely. Yeah. Okay.
Do we need to bring Gita for that session?
Yes. By the way, that's a good question. How many of you have Bhagavad Gita? Or maybe I'll ask another question. How many of you do not have Bhagavad Gita? Okay, 1, 2. Yeah. If he has, you have it. Yeah. By the way, Shastras say another thing. Whatever devotional service or bhakti a husband does, you know what happens? 50% of the benefit goes to the wife. Now, what does that mean? You need to have 2 Bhagavad Gitas.
Is the other way too?
Now, what is the other way? Let's discuss that also. Shastras tell about the other thing, other way also. The other way is, whatever sinful activities that the wife does, 50%, is it 50% or 100%? Maybe 100%. 100% comes to husband. No. I think 50%. Yeah, 100% is not fair, right? The wife does all sinful activities and everything goes to husband. Yeah, 50%. Huh? Good things done by wife, it stays with wife. Stays with the wife. So the lesson all the husbands should learn is, we should have 2 Bhagavad Gitas at home and we should do more sadhana because the wife is taking 50% of our benefit. We should become more sincere and do more sadhana. We should put extra endeavor.
50% alimony is there even in good things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Any bad things done by husband stays with husband only.
Bad things done by husband?
Stays with him.
Yes.
But then others say, whatever the parents do, the bad things or good things, they will transcend to the kids, right?
Children, yes. I mean, part of it, the parents have to suffer, and part of it, the children have to suffer. Yeah. It's all a package. It's all karma package. The reason why so-and-so children are born to so-and-so parents is to participate in their karma. Is to share their karma. Yeah. And the Shastras also describe another thing about son or daughter, right? If a son who is very obedient, well-behaved, good boy or good girl, that means you did something good to that person in the past life. That's why he appeared as a son to give you happiness. But we see, right? Some children, they are not obedient, they are not behave properly. They take wrong path. They do all sinful activities. They torture the parents so much. That means he was an enemy in the past life who appeared to give karma to you. To give karma means to give, it's your own karma basically. Okay, so to engage you in that karma, he appears as a son. Yeah. So that's why there is a purificatory process in the very beginning. When the couple want to conceive, there is Garbhadana Samskara. They have to do some pujas and rituals. They have to chant some mantras so that a child of proper consciousness will appear as a child. Yeah. There's a great science behind everything in Vedas and in religion. So if we know why we are doing what we are doing, that makes sense. Otherwise, things will appear as mechanical and sentiments, some pseudo philosophy. Yeah. So I will get Bhagavad Gitas for those of you who don't have it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Please bring. I mean, there is a online website also, vedabase.io, where you can look at all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, everything. But it's best to have physical copy of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. We'll see you next week.